Welcome to the Empowered Aging Podcast. Your host is Michelle, a physical therapist passionate about helping older adults stay active, mobile, and independent. Let's dive into today's topic.
If you're 65 or older and you are starting to feel like you get more tired and your walking starts to decline, maybe you feel a little more stumbly, a little more off balance as the day goes on, or if you've done something more strenuous. And you might be inclined to say or think, well, it's because I'm older. I have to challenge you on that. I don't agree that it's because of your age. What I think is your capacity, your body capacity is reducing, but that's not automatic with age. That's because we're not challenging ourselves. Walking is not necessarily an automatic task. Now, it doesn't mean we have to think about it. We're not consciously having to think one foot in front of the other. So in some ways, yes, it's automatic, but there's a lot involved. There's a lot going on to make your walking happen. Your muscles have to generate enough force to push you off, push you forward, put one foot in front of the other, pick up your foot high enough, hit the ground correctly, take a long enough step. All those things come from enough force production. Your joints have to move through enough range of motion. If you start moving smaller, your walking becomes less efficient. Maybe you're not picking up your foot high enough. You're not moving the joint through enough motion. Again, placing you more at risk of falling. Your eyes have to be scanning the environment. So there's some visual input there. Your inner ear has to help with balance, so you know what's upright and what's not. And then the brain has to integrate all of that information. So when we get tired, things don't work as efficiently. When your muscles fatigue, it changes those mechanics. Right? Like I said earlier, if you're not feeling strong enough to pick up your feet, you're going to start shuffling. You're going to start moving your body less. If your joints aren't moving as big, again, those steps become smaller and shorter. Fatigue slows the brain down. It can't process all this other information. It is just too tired. And then your posture starts to collapse. When we're tired, we tend to just kind of slouch more, right? And when we slouch or round our shoulders, that changes where our center of gravity is. We start to kind of lean forward into it, which then places us more at risk of falling forward. So all these things happen when we're fatigued. It's kind of like a phone battery. We want to start the day off, generally, with a battery that's 100%. Right? That means you can make it through the day. Maybe if you're taking a longer trip, you want to make sure it's 100%. Whereas if maybe you forgot to charge it overnight, you wake up and it's only at 40%. Well, that battery may not last through the day. That's basically the way it is with our bodies. And while there is that component of hydration and nutrition, we need those calories to give us energy, but we also need our individual components, the individual components of our body, to be at full capacity. As we age, if we stop moving as much, our capacity reduces. It's not because of that number that comes with the day you were born. No. It's the capacity that you have allowed your body to be at. We want to improve the capacity of our bodies. By improving the capacity, it's like energizing the battery of a phone. We're going to allow ourselves more time. We're giving ourselves more energy to be able to last through the day. So we need to build on each of those components that we talked about. We need strength training. And I don't mean, these little 2 and 3 pound weights. We need to challenge ourselves. Find weights that you can do repetitions, only 8 to 12 repetitions. If you can do 20 or 30, I'd like you to try something heavier. That's great for endurance, but I want you to improve your overall strength. And that means challenging yourself. Find weights, whether they be free weights or your body weight, or machines at the gym. Whatever mode of strengthening you want to do, and I suggest a variety of different ways, make sure you're challenging yourself. Increase your body's capacity. Balance training, being able to navigate over uneven ground. And that's going to help your inner ear as well as your body's ability just to adjust that proprioceptive input that our bodies give us. Dual task training. That's a big element in improving our brain's ability to process different information. Dual tasking simply means being able to do more than one thing at one time. As young people, multitasking is the thing, right? They're talking on the phone, doing different things, stumping on the computer, always doing more than one thing. As a mother of young kids, when I was younger, definitely always doing multiple things at one time. And in those capacities, it's really not as effective. But it's good for us to train our brains to be able to dual task. Some ways that you can do that are to incorporate brain skills with movement skills. In my Silver Sneakers classes, I often include actions that require more thought. We'll do sequences, let's say, where we have to memorize certain things, hand, elbow, whatever. We're doing different things and we repeat that sequence. And then I add to it to constantly keep up the challenge. We might do something like bouncing a ball while we're walking. So we have that dual task there of walking and bouncing a ball. And then on top of that, count backwards by 3s. We're incorporating a lot of different processes there. You can find a whole bunch of different ways. Maybe while we're walking, taking a walk through the neighborhood, can you run through numbers, mathematic equations, or go through the alphabet and think of a vegetable or a food that starts with each letter, challenging yourself in that way. Even just maintaining a conversation with someone while you're walking or doing an exercise can be helpful as well. So a lot of different ways that you can do that, but that's going to help your brain be able to integrate all that different information that you need to stay steady on your feet. And then also postural exercises. Again, as we said earlier, when we fatigue, we start to slouch, rounding the shoulders. But if we can improve our posture to begin with, and then strengthen those postural muscles to improve your endurance for holding yourself up, that's going to help you maintain that center of gravity in good alignment. By leaning forward, we're throwing ourselves off. By staying upright, we're going to keep things more balanced. So, bottom line is, getting tired at the end of the day is not because you're getting older. It's because you're not challenging yourself. I want you to think of at least one way that you can start doing that today or tomorrow. Start challenging your body, strength, balance, posture, dual tasking. Start somewhere, but start challenging yourself so that you can start your day with a full battery, with your body at maximum capacity. I want you to be able to not just get across the room. I want you to be able to do all the things that you want to be able to do in a day. Not have to stop because just too tired. Don't stop doing what you enjoy doing without putting up a fight. I hope that gives you something to think about. If you need some help on how to put some of this in action, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us today. If this episode helped you learn something new, we hope you'll share it with someone who could benefit as well. Until next time, keep moving, stay strong, and take care of your body.